Warning: the following strategy requires the use of the unit yens. If you do not have yens, this video is not for you. If you do, and you want to get an easy win without hitting any traps for Chapter 7, choosing to protect Roland, please continue to watch the rest of the video. Thank you. Do you want to beat General Avlora's assault on hard mode without using traps? Guaranteed? Well, I have just the YouTube video to show you exactly what to do, and anybody can do it. You may be asking yourself, well, why would I want to do this? Well, there are a couple of reasons why you may want to. For one, you might just want to have the bragging rights to amongst your strategy RPG friends to say, hey, I beat Chapter 7 on hard mode without using any traps. Now you don't have to show them this video. You can just say, hey, I did it. On the other hand, there might be a secret fourth ending where not using any traps might get you a fourth ending for the game. So yeah, either way, this is the video for you. Hello YouTube nerds and Matt Miller's roommates if you're watching. It's a final word of warning. This strategy heavily relies on what is referred to as turtling, which is essentially put your units together and wait for the enemy troops to come to you. If you're okay with that and want to be able to emulate this as much as possible, well, keep watching the video. As we can see here, General Avlora's assaults. I'll prove to you that this is hard mode. As you can see, this is Chapter 7, Part 2, Not a Word My Friend. And just to prove it even more, we'll go ahead and load this save data. A lot of this video is going to be sped up once we get the main strategy going, just to really show you how easy it is. And once you set up the initial strategy, it's really pretty much brain dead. You should attack units while you can. Positioning is kind of important, only because we need to make sure certain units get to certain spaces in a timely manner. First thing we want to make sure of is that Jens can get to this spot right here on turn 1. So the way I have it set up is Benedict, Frederica, Gila, all the way to the left, followed by Serenoa, Jens, Julio. And then in that back row, we have Hossabara, Narv, Corentin, and Hewitt. So yeah, let's just get started with this. Okay, as we can see, turn 1, we got the Vanguard Scarf on Jens so that he can go first. We're going to position him right in front of here, so we can use this ladder on this leftmost house. Then, when the next unit comes, we want to make sure that we use in tandem on Jens so that he moves again right after we move Hewitt. Hewitt I don't know if Hewitt will be the character that goes next in your army, but whoever is used next in your army needs to go make sure that Jens goes next. It's not super essential, but it makes things a little bit less tedious for this early setup. Also, whenever you're using Hewitt in this chapter, she's always going to target the Hawk statuette potentially. Be careful not to hit it, or you will trigger the condition of, or you will blow the condition of not using any traps for this chapter. So we're just going to go ahead and end turn. Alright, Jens is now here. We are going to move. That's fine. There's fine. We should make sure that on turn 3 of Jens's third turn, we will be able to get onto maybe not his third turn, but we need to make sure that Jens can get to that house. And essentially, we moved Jens early because Gila is going to be able to get in front of that ladder where Jens was standing on her turn. Serenoa and Jens, they're not going to survive the chapter. So we just put him on a house, and then wait. But even though Serenoa is going to die, Jens is crucial to setting up this strategy. On this turn, we are going to use Bird of Prey on Julio to boost his movement by 1.
That's a big help.
And then we're putting Benedict right here. Once it starts to get...
I'll show you what I can do.
Now that we've put Benedict and we start putting units that are not flying on the houses, it's a good time to... It's a good opportunity to actually determine where our units are going to go on these houses. This can be ad-libbed a little bit, but essentially what you want to do is when you can, move Benedict a space back. Here we're going to have Gila, followed by Julio, and then Frederica. On this house, it's going to go Corentin, Hasabara, and Narv. Narv's going to be in the back. And then Huet's going to be here. Now, Hosabara actually wasn't that useful during my chapter playthrough of this, but she will come in handy in the off chance that Corentin and Narv actually get attacked. So right now, he can't do anything. We're going to just chill. There's no ladder for him to climb. Gila...
I'll take it from here.
Alright, we're moving.
Let me show you what I've learned.
Alright, Frederica is going to block this ladder.
Time for some research.
Move back Corentin 1 space.
Flee while you have the chance. The hunt is on.
Okay.
Come on, then.
Defeat is not an option.
And you're skipping turns at this point until you can set up the rest of the strategy and the enemies get in range.
I'll give it my best.
Okay, so at this point in the chapter, we're going to position Jens here. Do not build the ladder at this point, because Gila is not on her house yet. So we're just going to end turn.
My turn.
Making sure to hold R so things go faster.
Your heads shall prevail.
Gila still can't get on her house. That's okay, because on, well, she can't get on now. Notice she has enough space to get on where Benedict is. So on Benedict's turn, we will make it so that Gila will go next
I shall try my level best.
with now,
Preparation is key.
and then move him back a space.
Your heads shall
Put Gila on the house. First house is done being set up with unit positioning. You will not need to move these units after, for the rest of the, you won't need to move the units for the rest of the game. Not the game. You will not need to move these units on this house for the rest of the chapter. Setup for this house is done.
Time for some research.
Alright, skipping turns.
My turn. Time to take flight. Leave everything to me.
For the honor of House Wolford.
I'll show you what I can do.
So it comes to battle.
Alright. Now that we have everybody on the leftmost house, it's time to build that final ladder for this house.
This should do it.
Okay, and I'm actually going to position Jens so that units are more likely to attack him. Just so we have a little bit more assurance
Time to take action.
when things actually start going. But these units are now in range, or starting to get in range,
I will end
and we
this.
can start picking them off. Now we could attack here, but I'm actually not going to waste the FP. I'm going to wait a turn until units are more in enemy units are more in range. So one more enemy turn and we'll be good to go. Quarantine is getting on that house. Right in position, right as we said he would.
Shall we begin?
I shall try my level best.
Flee while you have the chance. The hunt is on. Now it's my turn.
All right. So, just so that we get them all in the house, not gonna have the exact positioning I want, or we want. We're not gonna have the exact positioning that we want right on this turn, but we'll adjust later. So right now, just put Hasabara as far back as she can go.
For the honor of House Wolford.
You might notice that this enemy actually is in range, so Serenoa, while you're alive, you're gonna do some damage for us.
Here I come.
All right, Corentin is on the house. We now have everything we need for the most part.
Strike while the iron is hot.
Julio can't do anything right now.
Face me if you
Jens is gone. That's fine. He's done his job. Funny note. I actually got rid of this ladder the first time I tried to do this strategy, and built a ladder like right here. If you do that, this will not work. So make sure to leave this ladder up. Okay, now we got enemies in range. Let's go ahead and start scorching. It's too bad they're not that far along, so we're gonna Blazing Chain.
blaze, heed my call.
We're gonna make sure to buff Frederica
Shall we begin?
and heal as necessary. But essentially, the way this turn order is gonna go
To work.
is these two are gonna use Ice Breath whenever they can on enemies. Right now, Corentin's just gonna chill. No pun intended.
Let us try our day.
We're gonna buff, and we're going to buff Frederica as much as we can. Just checking something real quick. Truth. Okay. So go ahead and give Bulwark to Frederica.
Let us heal our defenses.
And as you can see, units are starting to go to that house where
Victory is ours.
the middle ladder is. They're just all gonna start piling up in front of
My
them.
turn. My turn.
We're making that adjustment so that we can have the final positioning for the middle house. But before we do that, let's just get one Icy Breath. Minor note here, I do have the upgrade for Narv, such that he deals more damage with ice, but really it shouldn't matter if you have that upgrade or not.
I'll take it from here.
And now that Frederica's starting to actually deal out damage, we're going to be using Moment of Truth on her as much as we can. Not only does it boost her magic attack, it also gives her more FP to deal more damage, more cast essentially.
Where was I?
Icy Breath,
Freeze!
Allow me.
and yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory now. So from this point forward, I'm just going to be fast-forwarding the video, showing you how easy this is. One thing to note before I do though, enemies will be taking a lot of your spoils throughout the chapter, but by the time the chapter ends, if you kill Avlora before you have, like say you have 1 or 2 enemies left over, you can go in and collect the spoils that are left over without having to worry about clearing the chapter.
2 actions.
All right, that's it. We're gonna speed our way through this.
I will end this. Stay right there.
Got him.
Have we no choice but to retreat?
Hey. And that's how it's done. Pretty easy. But yeah, that's about it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned a little something about how this game works, maybe. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. I try to put out a video at least once a week. Usually it's rhythm game focused, but I also love strategy RPGs, so I hope to make some Fire Emblem content in the future, as well as pretty much any content related to anything I'm currently playing. So yeah, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.